Now, I've written money, and when it comes to money, I pray for this country. This country, Ghana, is sad. It's not like other countries where we put a lot of value on virtue and integrity. This country. I am a politician who goes to talk to ordinary people every day. Sometimes you are amazed how well people receive you sometimes. It's dependent on what you give them. You meet people who embrace you because they have love for you. They appreciate your works. But Doc, there are others who can be hostile. It is only when you give them money that the hostility vanishes. And I pray for this country. And unfortunately, I have seen politicians enter parliament, and it is only for money. But for money, across the divide, they couldn't have stepped there. And you see, what makes it even more worrying is that the same Ghanaians who are complaining that politicians are rascals or cantankerous, they are the same people who sometimes tell you during an election that if you don't bring money, forget it. In fact, when I was going for elections 2020, someone called me and said, Doctor, what's more than this? Don't this is still on our mobile? Be an government your power. Someone was from what? A voter told me, a constituent, that when I was coming in 2016, they assumed that I'm a young man and I don't have money. So they did it out of love. But this time, even if I don't have money, my government's in power, so I have to go and look for money. And Doc, if you interview some people, some even said that I brought them beans and rice, but there was no money for tomatoes, other things. This is the country we are having. In fact, as for this woman, I saved the number as voter money. There was a woman. Voter money? Yes. You know, I saved numbers based on the issue. Day of the election, I got a call around 10 a.m. It's a middle class woman who was speaking good English. He said, Doc, we have about 10 residents. We live at this area. As well as we are selling our votes. So primaries. Election 2027 December. We are selling our votes. Each of us 1,000 Ghana cedis or more. The minimum is 1,000 for 5 of us. That's 5,000 Ghana cedis. I told her, you hear from me. I didn't say anything. I didn't get to her. 6-7 months down the line after the election, she called me that they had some issue in their area. And when the call came, voter money. I told her, Madam, when you decided to put your vote on sale, you have the courage to call me. Say, oh, Doc, you know, these things have passed. Middle class woman. So this country, I continue to pray for this country. And it is up to us, people like yourself, Sina Pratt, who, and when I say who mean well, it doesn't mean we don't mean well. But for those, let's say, outside the game, it's for us, Doc, we should think through how we've practiced this for some time, the way things are going. Forgive me, but one of these days, you can get people in this parliament, they are not interested in what happens in this country. True. They will come, they will give whatever. And now the fear is that you can have integrity, capacity, and wealth. Immediately someone appears on the scene with money, you see if your own people leaving you. So it is a big issue. And I don't have all the solutions. But the earlier we find ways to bring some amendments or changes in our... It must be a law, not appeal to conscience. How we go about it, Doc. It must be. I have a problem with laws in Ghana, and I've said this many times, that for me, the difference between us and the societies that we call functional are because they see law as enforcement. We see law as enactment. Sure. So this is not a country that really is bereft of appropriate laws. I hope you understand what I'm saying. No, our problem is being enforcement. And the fact that we even like to cover each other. Almost anything that happens in this country, like you're saying, you find some law that solves the problem. The president's representative.
So, as for the constitution, some way, somehow, it always has some legal tool to solve problems, Doc. But I think what has happened in those jurisdictions, advanced countries, those people like those who have made it and developed and all that, Doc, they had leaders over time who don't just set up the institutions and let people assign them. But if you read on South Korea, other nations, they have a way of putting in place mechanisms to monitor those who run the system, to discourage those things that will take us off, and to encourage those who look. This country, when was the last time you heard that a particular public servant has been awarded, given a national award, doc, for integrity? He has an old car, but ABC shows that this is a person of virtue. Look at when Anas did the documentary. There were some judges in this country who told Anas that if you step here again, they didn't know it was Anas. The ladies, especially the ladies, all I hear or hear Joe. Most of the women, one judge actually told him that he will cause his arrest. Look, we spent a lot of time on those who went for the goats and the yam, and we left out these virtuous people. Such people should have been given the order of the voter. We have to celebrate integrity. That's the way to encourage young ones to come up.